Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Vedic Living. Today, we'll be talking about the lunar eclipse that is happening in March 14th of 2025. We will have this lunar eclipse, which will be very eventful because there's a lot of planets conjunct. There are some very meaningful nakshatras involved here. So this is actually going to be a major one, okay? And I've told you in the past, in the year 2025, the first part of this year, March, April, May is the most intense part. And I do think these eclipses happening in March are kind of kickstarting all the intense transformation and, things coming out into the open, people realizing deceptions that have happened in the past, and ultimately leading to healing once Jupiter goes into Cancer and it's exalted in October. So this is kind of we are building that momentum here now starting in March. Now, before I go any further, I do want to remind you, if you wonder about your chart or you're thinking, like, for example, when I say that certain degree marks that are sensitive in the sky, and if you're thinking, do I have any planets there? Then go to my website, www.vedic-living.com, and use my free chart calculator. I have added the nakshatras to the calculator, and it has been improved to include some links for you to do some further research, hoping that you can understand your chart a little more, because what I am passionate about is using Vedic astrology for self-evolution and understanding the psychology of your individuality, of your own mind through your chart, but not stopping there. You want to take it forward. You want to take it one step forward and heal those things in your psyche so you can live a better life and evolve as a soul. That's what we are all here to do on this planet. That being said, it takes me into the next thing I want to talk about, which is my new book. My new book, The Vedic Relationship Code, is coming out in the next week, and I will be making a separate video once it comes out, so you can go and purchase it. This is a culmination of, I have to say, almost 5 to 6 years worth of work. But I started thinking about this about the year 2009, 2010. The reason is that was a very difficult time in my life. And I started thinking, if there was some kind of way to use astrology to heal your relationships and live a better life, understand the psyche of yourself and your spouse, or any business partner, or anybody you're in a partnership with, that would be great. That's what astrology is all about. It's not just about the fatalistic view about saying such and such is happening in your chart and this is it, you're doomed, right? No, we want to say that these things are there in your chart. These are indicating a certain side of your psyche or your psychology, which makes you react in a certain way to certain situations. But you can heal it, you can change it, you can shift it, and that's when you rise above the chart. That's when you go into your Navamsha chart. So there is a lot of different ways of looking at your chart and using it for self-evolution and healing yourself. So this book on relationships, I have to tell you, 90% of the people who come to me with relationship questions. But this book that's exactly what it's about. I'm not only explaining a concept in astrology, and by the way, I think this is the only book out there which has both Parashara and Jaimini concepts on relationships. But then I'm taking it one step forward. I'm talking about the psychology behind it so that you can think a little bit more about it and see if there is any way you can heal it. Because these are karmic cycles. You find issues in one relationship, you try to get out of it, go into another one, you may attract the same kind of partner. The idea is to heal this within us so that we start vibrating at a higher frequency to attract a better relationship. So that healing part is a major portion of this book that I've written. So I'm incredibly excited about it. I'll be creating a course on it. And the book is called The Vedic Relationship Code. And I will be letting everybody know when it's up for sale on Amazon. Okay. Now, When I talked about Jaimini astrology, I am very excited to announce that I'm teaching Jaimini astrology. The course is going to be open on March 10th is the first class. And when I teach a course, I don't just do like a small workshop. This is a very involved semester on Jaimini astrology, where we go through the origins, we understand the Katapayadi system. So if you want to go and find out more about it from the Upadesha Sutras, you can. And then I take you through the Karakas, the Charadashas, the Yogas, the Arudha Lagna, the Argalas, everything. Okay, this is the foundational Jaimini astrology course based on my very first book on Amazon. And I will be teaching a 4-week course. So every week we will have one class, one live webinar. You will have videos that you can watch on the platform, and you will take tests. And at the end, you will take an exam and you will get certified on foundational Jaimini astrology. You'll be certified as a Jaimini scholar. Okay, so that's my first course. But then after that, if you're still interested, I will have an advanced Jaimini course as well. That's my next book that is coming out, which is in the works right now. So it's going to be very exciting. While these major transits are happening in the sky, we can understand more about 8th house matters, the positives of the 8th house, which is astrology, psychology, and healing your mind. So that's one of the major things that we are going to focus in on. With that being said, let's look at this eclipse that's happening in the month of March. So the March full moon is going to happen at 29 degrees of Leo and Aquarius. The sun is going to be in Aquarius and moon is going to be in Leo. Now, this is important because at that 29-degree mark in Aquarius is a fixed star called Markab. Now, Markab is, usually it's associated with people who are very stubborn and have a strong willpower. They like to get things done. They don't give up. But it is also called the star of sorrow. It is a faded star. It's called the star of sorrow. So this means that whatever events are happening in March going into April could bring about sadness or sorrow. There's going to be some major events happening, which, like I said, later on in the year will lead to healing. But this is the starting point of all that. Okay. Now, at the 29-degree mark, there is the nakshatra that this whole eclipse is happening, or the full moon is happening in, is the moon is in Uttara Falguni and the sun is in Purva Bhadrapada. Now, Uttara Falguni is the star or the nakshatra that deals with relationships and partnerships. Very important, okay? Now, this particular nakshatra, and this is why this is so important, because I'm coming out with my Vedic astrology relationship book when the full moon is happening in Uttara Falguni. It's very, very opportune for that, because that's what that moon is all about. But it's not just about relationships and partnerships. You have to look at where Venus is sitting in the chart. Venus is retrograde. What does that mean? It's about healing your relationships. Venus is going backwards. So it's not just about moving forward in your relationship. It's about looking back, understanding what went wrong, and understanding how to heal yourself and vibrate at that higher frequency level. So that's why this full moon is so incredibly important. And I'm telling you, when I came out with this book, and the editing has been going on for almost 3 months now, I was supposed to publish it in February. I did not think about this eclipse or this new moon, or sorry, this full moon happening in this nakshatra when it got delayed, and it's only coming out in the first week of March now. When I started looking at this chart for creating this YouTube video, and I started thinking, look, things happen when they are meant to happen. The full moon is happening with moon in Uttara Falguni, which rules relationships. Venus is retrograde, which means we are looking backwards to heal our relationships. There's no better time for this book to come out than now. And this is what this book is about. So in terms of the energy in the sky, this is what you're going to experience in your personal life, in your relationships, in your marriage. You're going to see that there's going to be a sense of healing it. There's going to be a sense of analyzing things, looking back, trying to find where the breaking points are, trying to heal you and your spouse. That's what this is all about. In the world, globally, this could mean, I always tell people, globally, when we talk about relationships, it's trade. It's trade and tariffs. So now in the news, every time you turn the news on, you hear about tariffs, right? That's also attributed to this particular full moon energy because the countries are understanding how to work best with each other. They're deciding to come to the table together to talk and resolve issues. So this is a very important time in the world globally for this particular full moon energy to happen. Now, the one issue with this full moon, though, is that Saturn is sitting with the sun exactly at the same degree almost, right? This means that it's not a very happy kind of energy. Saturn is responsibility. It's heavy, right? It's a heavy energy. So while things are being healed, while people are thinking about how to work on their issues and resolve things and all of that, that Saturn is bringing a sense of karmic obligation and a sense of responsibility, right? And it is also karmic retribution. So globally, you will see things that have happened in the past are being called up to question right now. There are things that people are wondering, what went wrong? How do we fix this problem that happened in the past? Because Saturn is sitting there saying, this is the karmic retribution, and this is where we learn, right? So that's why this is a very important eclipse and full moon happening in March, okay, for the year 2025. Now, Mercury is sitting with Neptune, okay? You can see that in the chart. This is also important because Mercury is communications, media, news, and Neptune rules deception and deceit and just generally a foggy sense of things. You don't see clearly what is happening. So this means that people are being lied to. What you're seeing is not the reality. Let me tell you another reason why I'm saying that. The sun involved in this eclipse, right? The sun and moon are opposing each other. The sun is in the nakshatra Purva Bhadrapada. This nakshatra has a symbology of the two-faced man. This is important because, and when I say man, it's just anybody, okay? It's just in the text, they say that. But it just means this, think of the symbology of it. It means that what you're seeing is not the reality. There's another face that you're not seeing. So don't be impulsive and jump into action just because you're seeing something. It's not the reality. This is a two-faced situation. In your personal life, you will see this more and more. And in the global events, because Mercury is sitting with Neptune, the news is two-faced, right? What you're seeing is not the reality. It's completely different. Neptune rules movies and media and television, right? So it's almost like a movie is being played, but it's not the reality, okay? So just remember that when you think about this full moon energy in March. Now, Mars is in Gemini. Uranus is in the last degree of Aries. What does this mean? Air travel is still a problem, right? There can still be some issues in air travel. But on the other hand, I also think that things that happened in the past with air travel are also being pulled up to be questioned, right? Things are being analyzed. Like, how do we fix this? Is there an issue here? How did that happen? Who dropped the ball? All those things are being questioned with Mars and Uranus kind of thing happening in the sky. This energy, and that's the main aspects that are happening with this full moon and eclipse. So with this energy, what does it mean? This next 6-month period, this is eclipse. Eclipse energy lasts for 6 months. From March, for the next 6-month period, this is the trend you're going to see in the world, right? You're going to see all of the things that I just talked about. In addition to that, you will see that things are heavy, a little sad, but it is giving rise to healing for the future. And then when I make my solar eclipse video, which is even going to be a big one, because in the end of March, you have that huge stellium happening in Pisces, which we need to talk about in detail. You will understand why this is all building towards that. Okay, so now for now, this is the information I wanted to bring to you. And when we do the other video, you will understand more. So I'm going to leave you with that. If you ever wondered more about me or you want to know more about what I do, visit my website, www.vedic-living.com. Subscribe to and like my video so it can reach a larger audience. And as always, I'm thankful for you guys as my followers and viewers, and I'll come back to you next time with the eclipse video.